Hi, I'm Jason with MP Lawn Care and Lighting. We're here showing you how to properly shut off and winterize your sprinkler system without blowing it out. The first step is to identify the source of shut off. Sometimes it's outside and we stick the metal key in the ground and turn it off. This one is a newer house and it's inside. The way to find it is you find the main line where it comes into the house. This is the main water supply to the house, and that's shut off with this, but we're just going to deal with the sprinklers, which is where it tees off. This first handle will be shutting off the water to the sprinkler system. You do that by turning the handle up and down so it's not in line with the flow. Next step is we're going to go outside and open everything up so it drains out, and then we'll come back down in the basement and open up the drain, which will drain the water out that's in the line going to the sprinklers. Okay, this system is culinary only, which means clean water. Some other sprinkler systems have secondary, and some systems have both culinary and secondary options. I'll show you what to do on the other ones later, but this one is culinary only, and this will be how we winterize a culinary sprinkler system. Okay, your next step is to find your backflow preventer. All newer systems will have this on, and lots of old systems will have it too. Some may not have a backflow preventer. Sometimes it might be in the ground in a green box also, but typically they'll be above ground, and you're going to want to identify two things on the backflow preventer to winterize. The first one is the main ball valves, which are these big handle valves, and everything that's a ball valve on the entire system we want to have at a diagonal. The worst thing you could do is turn it all the way off, because that will trap water inside the ball valve and it will freeze and break. So if you do diagonal, it opens everything up and allows it to drain. So there's two ball valves on the backflow preventer you turn at a diagonal, and then there's 4 test cocks, and you're going to turn them with a flathead screwdriver. Same thing, you want them diagonal. And so each one of these you'll turn at a diagonal, and that will allow all the water to flow out of the backflow preventer, and you do not have to take it off if you do it this way. If you want to, you can remove them at removing the 2 unions and put this inside, but just as a precaution, still turn the valves how I've shown you, so that if you set it in your garage, it won't freeze and break in there. The next thing that we'll do is we'll go to the individual valves. So you're going to find the valves in your valve box, and there's 2 ways that you can open up the valves. You can turn the solenoid, which will be on top with the 2 wires coming out of it. You can simply twist that to the left, and that will open it up. Or you can turn the small bleeder valve, usually with a flathead screwdriver. You can open that up. You only have to do one or the other. You don't have to do both. Some valves are going to be designed differently. Some will not have a bleeder valve, but every valve will have a solenoid with the 2 wires coming out of it. So you can simply twist those. About a half turn is sufficient. That opens up the valve and allows all the water to flow out of the valve and drain out in the system down the line. So you do that to each valve. Sometimes you'll also have a ball valve drain in the box. In this system, we put them outside. And again, every ball valve you're going to turn to a diagonal and leave it that way all winter. And that'll drain out the main line for the whole system. And you'll go and just make sure that you get every valve box on your system. If you don't know how many valves you have, go to your timer and see how many wires come into your timer. And that will be how many valves you need to find. Often they get buried in bark and different things, so make sure you get to every valve and open up every valve. And next we'll go back down in the basement and drain out the main line. On these screws, you want to make sure it's diagonal with the flow of the water. The water would travel this way, and so it needs to be diagonal to open it up. And again, when you go to turn on your water for the year next year, you're going to close these. So they'll be like that is a closed position. This will be open to winterize it. So now that we've shut off the water, opened up everything we can open up outside, we're going to come back down to drain this. The reason we do this last is because we want to allow air in the line first, because we'll get more to drain out. If you open up this drain at the beginning, right after you shut off the water, you will get some water out, but you will get more after you open everything up. So now we're going to open this up and use a bucket. Sometimes they put a hose connection on here to allow a hose you can run it to a drain or something in your basement. There's almost nothing in this line, which is nice. because everything's drained out. We can hear the air in there, so we're good to go. So every system's designed a little bit differently, and you'll have different things on them. On this sprinkler system, we had a spigot for a hose bib on here. So any point on any valve that you could possibly open up, you want to open. So here we're going to open this up, which will allow air into the system and allow it to drain out better. All right, we've already demonstrated how to shut off your water when your shut-off valve is in the basement, but this is an idea of one that's out in the yard. And a lot of times people can't find where their stop and waste pipe is. And the rule of thumb you want to follow is you always want to find the water meter that's out in the park strip and line it up with the spigot that's on the house. And somewhere in that line is going to be your stop and waste. And it'll always be in a pipe. In this case, it's by the house. Sometimes it's in the park strip or somewhere in the yard. But let me demonstrate how to shut this off. You're going to stick the key in the ground, and then you're going to turn it a quarter turn to the right, and that'll be in the off position. Another thing that people often forget to do is unhook their hoses from their hose bib. If you forget to do that, your hose bib can freeze and crack, and then you got to replace it. So this one we're going to take off for them. That'll just allow that not to freeze and break. So we've shown you how to winterize a culinary system. Now we're going to demonstrate the extra steps that you need to do if you have a secondary system. Your shutoff's going to be a little bit different. There will always be a ball valve shutoff out by the sidewalk in a green box. Let me show you how to shut that off. So normally it will be in the on position, which is in line with this pipe. To turn it off, you turn it 90 degrees, so it's going against the pipe like that. And then there should be a filter on your secondary system also. Let me show you the filter in this box. There will often be a little orange handle ball valve on the end of the filter. Some have them, some don't. If yours does have it, make sure to open that, and that will drain out anything that's in the main line or in the filter. Okay, so if your system is culinary and secondary, then you're going to have what's called a swing pipe, and that's what's in this box here. There's going to be a red hose, and then you're going to have two options. One of them is going to be culinary and one of them is going to be secondary. Again, these are ball valves that you're going to want to winterize, so you're going to make them diagonal with the flow. So it should look like that, and that'll allow anything to drain out of there, and so nothing's trapped in those ball valves, nothing will freeze and break. Another comment I want to make is some of you may have ball valve or backflow preventers that look like this, and it's common that you take out this plastic insert. Again, to winterize this, even if you remove this part of it, you still have these ball valves on the outside, and you're going to want to make sure that those are in a diagonal position when it's winterized if you take this center part off.